I want to break the myth in this video that you need to go make $1 million and that you need money.
Okay, guys, I'm live right now. I'm live. So today is day 48, trying to make $1 million. And there are only 317 days to make $1 million. 317 days to make $1 million. Okay, wait. Okay, what I prepare for today, guys.
Remember, this is not just a story.
Okay, wait. Okay, I'm sharing the link on all my socials. So right now I have 0 viewers, but in the future I will have 1 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion viewers in the future. That's the goal, bro. That's the goal. Okay. I have a cold, so today I feel horrible. I really want to quit because it's very difficult to post every single day. It's hard, bro, it's hard. But I know that I need to go live every single day and post every single day in order to make $1 million. That's the price that I'm paying. But it's hard. I have a cold and I feel horrible right now. Headache. Um, Probably my voice sounds strange, I don't know. But okay, what I per wait a minute. We are 153 subscribers. Let's go, bro. Let's go. 153 subscribers. Yesterday we were 148 subscribers or 49 subscribers. So I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure, or I'm not sure, or I don't remember, bro. But okay, now we are 153 subscribers. So let's go, bro. Let's go. We keep growing. Thank you so much, guys. If you watch this stream in the future, I really appreciate that a lot, bro. And okay, I already I already buy the shoes that a similar type of shoe that I want to sell in the future. Where Big Wayne is an official brand right now, um, so I need to get in contact with the factories, start making shoes and selling shoes. I want to create a specific type of shoe for runners, so this process is taking so long, but it's necessary. It's necessary. But what what do I prepare for today? Let me show you. I will share screen in 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Boom! I prepared this amazing video by Alex Ormoji. Why? I don't choose random videos. I choose specific videos that I can apply the knowledge that I learned. So if I think that I can learn a lot and apply a lot from this video, I choose this specific video for that reason. So the title is 10 different ways to break down making $1 million. Bro, what? Okay, Alex, please tell me more. Tell me more, bro. I need to know how to make $1 million. You already made $1 million, so you can teach me. You can teach me, bro, so please give me all your knowledge. Okay, boom. Okay, let's watch the video.
To make money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 different ways that you can make $1 million for little or zero money down. And you can apply this to $1,000, $100, $100 million. You can do any of these things and add or detract the amount of zeros that you feel comfortable with. The first thing that you can do if you want to make $1 million, you can sell something for $1 million. And as crazy as what I'm saying sounds, you
Okay, but for that I'm sorry, I have a cold. Oh, bro. But for that, okay, I can sell something for $1 million. In the future, I will try that. I will try that when I get out of time. I will try that. So try to sell something through eBay for $1,000. I will try that in the future. So for now, because you need influence, fame is power. So if I'm the most viral guy in the whole planet, on the whole planet, on the internet, if I become the most viral person on the internet, I can sell anything at any price. Probably I can sell $1 billion with one product. I don't know, but in the future, probably in the future, in day 348 and 8 days left, probably I, for that moment, I had created a community, a big community, an influence and authority in my niche, and I'm the most viral guy on the internet for that moment. I will be the most viral guy on the internet for that moment. Probably, if that's the case, I can sell $1 billion. Probably, I don't know.
absolutely can sell something for $1 million. If you go to an e-commerce store and they're doing $100 million a year, and you say, hey, if I can increase your conversion across your entire site, rewrite your emails, redo your landing pages, and I can get you a 5% lift, can I get 1% of that? So you make them an extra $5 million a year and you get 1. Do you think you can do that? Yes. Why are you going to be able to do so much? Not because of you, but because of who they are. You make $1 million by selling someone else $5 to $10 million of value. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, that's fine. But accept that you don't know how to do.
I'm taking notes.
Do that and then say, I want to learn how to do that, and then go get the skill of doing that, and then you can go sell it. But you can't say that you don't have the money and that's why you can't make money. The second one is that you can borrow $1 million and then buy something and have someone value because of who they are. You make $1 million by selling someone else $5 to $10 million of value.
Perfect.
And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, that's fine. But accept that you don't know how to do that and then say, I want to learn how to do that, and then go get the skill of doing that, and then you can go sell it. You can't say that you don't have the money and that's why you can't make money. The second one is that you can borrow $1 million and then buy something and have someone else pay it back. It's
Okay, buy second.
is that you can borrow $1 million and then buy something.
Buy some. Okay, I feel horrible, but no matter. Who cares? Who cares? Buy something for 1 million and have someone else pay for it. Something for 1 million. Probably the best way of doing that is art. In form of art. You can buy. Okay, art. I know that there are people that will pay $1 million for a banana. Just like simple as that, or for an apple cut in half, or something stupid. I know that there are people that will pay that quantity for something like that. So probably in the future, you only say this is art. This pen is art, and it's valued in $1 million. So, do you want this pen? Is the only pen with this design in the world. So, would you buy this pen for $1 million? And probably there are people that will buy this pen for $1 million. You just need a good story. In the future, I will try that. This pen is the pen with the pen with I write all of this knowledge. I write down all the knowledge I have. With this pen I write down all the knowledge I have. So it's valued in $1 million. Or something like that. I can say something like that. And probably there are people that really want this pen, so I can sell this pen for $1 million.
And have someone else pay it back. It's fundamentally what real estate is. You borrow money to buy an asset, you put tenants into the asset, they pay off the money that you never had. That is what real estate is. And I'll tell you a quick story on this. So a buddy of mine got into real estate, was flipping houses, didn't think there was a lot of money in it, was like, oh, this sucks, there's so much work and there's all this So he ended up buying a 14-unit apartment building with someone else's money. He didn't have any. Bought the apartment building and then sold it 4 months later for $500,000 more. And he made 500 grand in one transaction. And so then he realized that the more expensive the building he sold, the more money he made. Then he started getting into commercial real estate, which is even more expensive. He's like, wait a second, I can buy something for 10 million and then I can flip it to somebody for 13 and not even hold on to it for that long. He started flipping 30 or 40 of these a year with just him and a couple of VAs. Number 3 is your
Okay, but the problem with this specific point is that you need money. You need money to buy something for $1 million. You need to have $1 million. That's the problem.
refinance something for more than you bought it. So if you're like, but with just him and a couple of VAs. Number 3 is you refinance something for
Refinance something for more than. Point number 3. Refinance something for more than you bought it.
more than you bought it. So if you're like, but I don't know if they'll do that. They will if it's priced low enough. So if you have to go talk to 1,000 building owners, you will probably get one of them who's willing to depart for their thing for significantly less than it's worth, and a bank will loan the difference, and you don't have to put any money down out of pocket. Let's say you have a $100,000 house and you get it under contract for $80,000 from them, saying that they're willing to give you the house for $80,000. And then you say, cool, I can give you 70. And then you got to seller finance me the 10 over the next 5 years. And they say, sure. And now all of a sudden you just got to get the bank, and the bank finances 80%. And now you actually just made the difference if you wanted to. And you can take that number and you can do it at $100 million. You can do it at any of these levels, but that's the concept. Does that make sense? Number 4 is that you get a contract for something for less than it's worth, and then you sell that contract. An option is number 4 is that you get a contract for something.
Get a contract for something for less than it's worth, and then sell the contract. Okay. Point number 4.
For less than it's worth, and then you sell that contract. An option is a contract to say that you will be able to buy something at a future date at a price that is agreed upon today. That's what an option is. If I agree upon a price with somebody today, then I, as the person who's getting the option, is hoping that it is worth more than that. The person who's selling the option is hoping that it's either worth less than that in the future, or doesn't think it's going to change significantly. It will just get paid for that tiny option for the contract itself. Let's say you've got $1 million house. Now you call a bunch of houses, you're going to be offering 20% below what the market rate is that you believe the house is worth. Eventually you're going to get to somebody who's like, you know what, I've had this house for 30 years, I bought it for $10 and now it's worth 800 grand. You know what, I'll take the 800 grand. You think it's worth more than the 800 grand. And you say, thank you, I'm going to send you a DocuSign. They sign the DocuSign that you have an option period to flip the house. You could go to a real estate investor and say, hey, I have a house for $900,000 on sale, right? It's worth $1 million. The guy says, okay, sure, I'll sign for 900. This guy's going to put 900 in. You're going to pay 800 to this person, and then you make the 100 in between, and you put no money down. The next one you can do is that you can sell something that's really expensive and get a commission. Sounds really simple. You sell a skyscraper that's a $100 million skyscraper, you'll get and get a commission.
Probably this is a strategy that I can try right now. Contact with someone that have an example, a house or a penthouse that is worth $1 million. It's value on $1 million, and I can help him sell that building and get a commission. A 10% commission, $100,000 is if the building is valued on $1 million. Probably, I don't know. Probably you have to pay taxes and all of that, but it's an example. I can try that right now.
Sounds really simple. You sell a skyscraper. Next one you can do is that you can sell something that's really
Probably, okay. I can search. This is this point, the number 5. I can try this right now. Okay, something is happening with the camera. Okay, perfect. I can try this right now. I can contact people that have $1 million penthouse and help them to sell that penthouse. Okay, that is something that I will try. I will definitely try that.
really expensive and get a commission. Sounds really simple. You sell a skyscraper that's a $100 million skyscraper.
I was a setter, and and a route operator. So I saw, okay, with the route operator service not, but with the appointment setter and closer, I help business owners to sell $1,000 in 1 month or more than $1,000, but at least $1,000 in 1 month, and I get a commission, a 10% commission. So I really know how this works.
You'll get 3-4% of that deal. $3 or $4 million on a single transaction. If you sell a $20 million residence, and you might be like, that's crazy. They exist, look on Zillow. The realtor gets 5-ish% of the transaction. That's $1 million and they never own the asset. The next one is that you can find somebody who has an audience, buy whatever they're about to launch early in the asset. The next one is that you can find somebody who has an audience, buy whatever they're about to launch early and then sell it later. Now that one does take some money, it's less, but the value of the thing later, that's how it balloons. This is how the entire NFT thing worked, is that you have tremendous demand for a scarce resource. They have the scarce resource and then it balloons the price because there's so many people bidding against each other to get it. And so getting in early on those types of things, which is why if you buy into something pre-IPO, it tends to almost always go up simply by the fact that there's way more eyeballs that are competing for it, most times. The next one is selling units of stuff. Super simple, but people don't do the math behind this. I don't even like confining it to a year, but we do live in time, and so I will explain it that way. Competing for most times. The next one is selling units of stuff. Super simple, but people don't do the math. Competing for most times. The next one is selling units of stuff.
Selling units of stuff. Perfect.
Super simple, but people don't do the math behind this. I don't even like confining it to a year, but we do live in time, and so I will explain it that way. If you wanted to make $1 million, you've got 52 weeks in a year. About $20,000 a week is what you got to make. 20 times 52, it's technically $1,040,000 for the internet trolls.
So
how do you make 20 times 52?
I have to make 20K each month. Okay. I'm making $10 per month. So I'm broke. Bro, I'm broke.
It's technically $1,040,000 for the internet trolls. How many different ways can you make 20 grand in a week? Well, you can sell 20 people a $1,000 thing, 2 people a $10,000 thing, 1 person every 4 weeks an $80,000 thing. On a weekly basis, 20 people who have $1,000 lifetime value. For example, if you have a $100 a month membership and the person stays for 10 months on average, then if you sell 20 of those every week, over time, those will stack up and then you will cap at $1 million. And the only way to grow from that new million is either you got to sell more units or you got to make the thing that you're selling worth more. That's it. The next one is that you can get people to give you their businesses for no money down. A good friend of mine actually did this, and is that you can get people to give you.
Number 8. Businesses for
their businesses for no money down. A good friend of mine actually did this, and he combined 4 different information businesses into one business, and they were all small businesses. They were all doing about $1 million-ish a year. I get small is relative, but and so he combined them all to be a $4 million top line, $1.5 million bottom line business for no money out of pocket. He literally said, hey, I know you don't want to do this business anymore. Just give it to me and I'll pay you the income that you were going to make for this business for the next 2 years. And they said, sure. And so he combined all this.
That's a good strategy.
Businesses together, and then overnight he owned an asset that was doing $1.5 million a year in profit and $4 million in top line, and it cost him nothing to do it. He owns the asset now, and so if he turned around and went to say, hey, I'm going to go sell this, he could probably sell the thing for $5 million put together. It might cost him $2 million, and he makes the 3. He made more than $1 million with no money out of pocket. Understand that the people who are making money don't constrain themselves by time. They're not thinking, how do I make X dollars per hour, X dollars per year? They're thinking, how do I provide the most value to somebody so they'll give me a percentage of the value I provide? Here's another one, is that you can go find stuff that you really like and go promote that. So you don't have to go find and make your own products. You go find products that you really like from other companies and just become affiliates of those products. And the nice thing is that I just recommend you be honest. Be like, hey, I tried 100 fucking different soaps. This is my favorite one, and here's why. People don't want to go through the time and the money of figuring out which soap is the best for your audience. And if you make the rec after you do that, they're like, oh, well, shoot, he just saved me time. And so then I'll go buy from him through his link or whatever. And so you can affiliate other people's products and make money in that way without any money out of pocket. And then finally, arbitrage in general, which is a fancy word, but it just means that you sell the same thing between 2 different markets.
Between the 2 different markets because they're price different.
Because they're priced
between 2 different markets because priced different.
differently. If Bitcoin is $19,000 in Japan, on the Japanese market it's $19,100 in the US market, you buy the $19,000 Bitcoin over in Japan and you sell it in the American market for $19,100 and you make $100. That's all arbitrage is. And it happens with physical products, it happens with lending money between 2 parties. If you can get money for 1% and you can sell the money for 6%, you make 5 is the difference. All of these are different versions of arbitrage, which is just same thing, 2 markets, 2 different prices, you make the difference. And so if you're looking for ways to make money, look for arbitrage opportunities because that's where you can make tremendous income.
When the doors closed last time, people went nuts. By popular demand, we are open.
I just gave a guest lecture last week. I want to break the myth in this video that you need to go
for that information, Alex. I also prepared this video because what I'm
wearing the real Team USA Olympic uniforms with
big way. So running shoes. So I need to understand the market, understand what people want, what people are looking for in a shoe.
One of the world's fastest super shoes, and we're gonna cut it in half.
I need to know more than anyone else about this topic, about shoes.
Because what's inside this shoe is part of a huge debate happening in sports right now. The question is, when does sports gear get so good that it's actually cheating. There's a ton of cool gear that's banned from sports for making athletes too good. Like swimsuits that make a swimmer's body too streamlined, or gloves that make a receiver's hands too grippy, or bats that let a player hit the ball too hard, or shoes that make a runner too freaking fast. They call it tech doping, using physical gear to gain an unfair advantage. In this video, I'm going to show you
I really feel horrible today. I have a cold and it's horrible, but no matter. I know that I need to be constant.
the banned technology
Consistent. Consistency is everything.
that you won't see in the Olympics.
Oh, whoa, that's grippy.
And the cutting edge tech that you will see that's on the very edge of what's allowed. You might be thinking, hold on, no gear should give athletes an advantage. But we don't run barefoot anymore. We don't swim naked. We use tech to play sports, and that tech keeps getting better, pushing forward what humans can do. So where's the line? That's what I really want to figure out. This debate is about way more than sports. In every part of our lives, technology pushes humans forward, and it's up to us to decide, what do we want from it? This video is about that question. Let me show you the cutting edge of sports technology.
I am wearing the fastest suit in the world, and that's a fact.
The fastest suits in the world. Technological doping.
It is cheating.
A weekend that changed distance running forever.
Nike's controversial Vaporfly shoe.
Fueling new controversy over the suits the swimmers are wearing.
Surpassing human capabilities.
Today, I'm at Nike's test lab in Oregon to show you some of the world's best and most controversial sports equipment. But first, if you were trying to decide whether to ban something from sports, how would you do it? Here's where to start. First, most regulators ask, is it dangerous? To athletes or fans or both? This is the big reason they give for banning steroids, but it applies to hardware too. For example, in Major League Baseball, they're not allowed to use aluminum bats. They have to use wooden ones because aluminum would allow them to hit the ball so fast they might kill people on the field or hurt people in the stands. So if gear greatly increases the risk of injury, it might not be on the field because aluminum would allow
Wow. Interesting, bro. Whoa.
them to hit the ball so fast they might kill people on the field
People. Oof. Whoa, bro.
or hurt people in the stands. So if gear greatly increases the risk of injury, it might not be allowed. But most of the cool tech that we're talking about doesn't increase danger. It just makes athletes better. So the next question they ask is it against the spirit of the sport? But most of the people in the stands. So if gear greatly increases the risk of injury, it might not be allowed. But most of the cool tech that we're talking about doesn't increase danger. It just makes athletes better. So the next question they ask is it against the spirit of the sport? But how do you define that exactly? Spirit of the sport, it's intentionally vague. So it gets broken up into smaller questions. Like, can everyone use this tech? Is it fair to record holders? Does it artificially enhance a player's performance? Let me give you some
I
examples.
need to know all of these things in order to create my own shoes.
Does it
That's the reason why I choose this video. Because if I want to sell $1 million selling shoes or with YouTube or whatnot, I need to know all of these things. Because I'm trying different ways of making $1 million because I only have 1 year. There are only like 10 months and 16 days left.
artificially enhance a player?
Can everyone use it? Fair to records.
Player's performance. Let me give. Is it fair to record holders? Does it artificially enhance? enhance a player's performance. Let me give you some examples. Try to decide what you think is right before I tell you what the rule makers chose. This is the Olympics in 1972. Do you notice anything missing? Nobody's wearing goggles. 4 years later, the Olympics allowed them. You see early adopters start to use them, and those athletes start winning. Here's a chart showing swimming records by year. That's when goggles were allowed. Most people today would say allowing goggles was a good idea. But then, something new caused another big spike. In 2008, Speedo collaborated with NASA to make this, the Laser Racer. This suit was so cool. The fabric mimicked shark skin with these little channels that let water flow more easily. It had these panels that sucked swimmers' bodies into a more streamlined position. And people speculated that the way it trapped air made swimmers float more easily, which Speedo denied. But it was clear this new tech was helping swimmers crush world records. Athletes were doing things nobody thought was possible. It was awesome. You remember that Olympics when Michael Phelps won more gold medals than any human had ever won in a single Olympics ever? He was wearing a laser racer. Is that fair? This new suit made the swimming world lose their minds. The general manager of the US team said the records shouldn't count. So, should this fancy super swimsuit be allowed? Within a year, the swimming governing body voted to ban them. The swimmers you see at the Olympics now are wearing suits made with only textile fabrics that can only cover this much of their body. I feel mixed about that. We can't see well underwater, and our skin isn't textured like sharks, but goggles are allowed, and these swimsuits aren't. But on the other hand, we don't allow flippers. There's a line somewhere. It's just not always obvious. Like prescription lenses in Olympic shooting. Okay or not okay? If you said okay, the regulators agree with you. Olympic shooters are allowed to wear prescription lenses. They can correct their vision. They just can't enhance it. Or how about this? Sticky glue that makes it easier to catch a football. Okay or not okay? The NFL said not okay, but grippy gloves are fine.
How in the world? Oh my goodness.
I love these questions because they get at what we think the whole point is of both sports and technology. And of course, it's so messy. But the messiest of all is the debate about running shoes and a record that was
running shoes. That's the area I'm interested. That area is interesting, very interesting, and I'm interested in that area. So I want to know more about running shoes.
Supposed to be impossible to beat.
He has done it.
Welcome to Nike's Test Lab. I'm at Nike to answer a question I've been wondering for years. Let me explain. In 2019, I watched Eliud Kipchoge become the first person ever to run a marathon in under 2 hours. That is 4 minutes and 35 seconds per mile for 26.2 miles. Here's what that speed looks like for most people. This was supposed to be impossible, but he did it. And while the world celebrated Kipchoge's record, in professional running, all eyes turned to these. He was wearing special prototype shoes, built to make him run faster. In fact, studies showed that this design helped runners at the time go 2 to 3% faster than the next fastest shoe. And regulators started saying that this shoe threatened the integrity of the sport. But why this shoe? If you look back at the history of running shoes, you'll see that over the last 100 years, they've gotten a lot better than 2 to 3%. Early running shoes looked like this. They're basically loafers with spikes. People can run a lot faster in basically any running shoe today. So why was this shoe all of a sudden so controversial? Let me show you the answer. This is the newest version of that same shoe design, and I'm about to cut it open.
So this is the successor of what Eliud Kipchoge beat the 2-hour marathon in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a culmination of all kinds of technological development. It's a thing of beauty, and we're going to destroy it.
There's no chance I can put it through, is there? You could guide me. If I lose a finger, it's my fault.
Lindsay, what do you think?
Well, we do have her on camera saying it will be her fault.
If I cut my finger off, I'm saying it to camera. It's not Nike's fault.
Sweet Jesus. No, this is fine. Come on, it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's gonna be great.
You got it? Woo!
of companies now make their own version of a super shoe. And people say they've changed running sports forever. But how exactly? At a high level, every super shoe today has 3 key sections: the upper, which holds your foot, the outsole, which hits the ground, and the midsole, which mostly determines how much of the energy that a runner exerts down into the ground is returned to boost them into their next stride. This is called energy return, and it's a huge deal in running. Nike's new super shoe specifically maximized energy return by building in a to the ground is return determines how much of the energy that a runner exerts down into the ground is returned to boost them into your foot, the outsole, which hits every super shoe today, has 3 key sections: the upper, which holds your foot, the outsole, which hits the ground, and the midsole, which mostly determines how much of the energy that a runner exerts down into the ground is returned to boost them into their next stride. This is called energy return, and into the ground is returned to boost much of the energy that a runner hits the ground, and the midsole, which mostly determines how much of the energy that a runner exerts down into the ground is returned to boost them into their next stride. This is called energy return, and it's a huge deal in running. Nike's new super shoe specifically maximized energy return by building in a way taller stack of new cushy foam and a carbon fiber plate that acts like a lever, springing the runner forward, which outside the shoe looks like this right here. They even included special air pockets for extra bounce. Before super shoes, a good energy return rate was about 60 to 65%. Now, it's more like 80%. Way more of the runner's energy that they get to reuse. I wanted to show you what that energy return feels like. But to do it, Nike didn't just give me their shoes. They let me try the real Team USA Olympic uniforms.
So I'm wearing this, and this, and this, and most importantly, these. Okay, now go away. I feel awesome. Let's do this.
They didn't just test the shoe, they tested me. They analyzed my running style. They showed me how these uniforms deal with sweat. And hardest of all, they made me run in 95-degree heat at 70% humidity.
Some of your cameras might not work super well in here because they might fog up. What speed would you like to run at today?
I'd like to go fast enough to give you some real information.
I'll just be right outside the window, so I'll look at you. Thumbs up means I can go a little bit faster. Thumbs down means a little bit slower.
Okay, put me in, coach.
Yeah, I did not fully understand what I was in for.
I don't know how to do that.
She wants to go as fast as you'll let her go.
I could feel the energy return. It feels like a trampoline on my feet. When super shoes were introduced, just like the swimmers with the Laser Racer, runners began to crush world records. Marathon times saw the biggest increase in 50 years. People started complaining that the shoes were giving runners energy, but that's not how energy return works. All the energy has to come from the runner, and anyone who runs knows it's not easy.
I'm reaching a point where I can't talk casually anymore.
She's getting hot. She's been running for 2.5 minutes. World's best marathoners can run in this temperature at faster speeds than this for 2+ hours. If you're up for it, we'll have you go for about 6 more minutes.
Okay.
How you feel? So fun, right?
That's great.
You got good sweat going all over the place. Beating up over here.
Terrific. Look at this.
So, running shoes that make you faster. Okay or not okay? Regulators decided something in the middle. They tried to restrict how much energy return super shoes could give by implementing a 40mm foam height limit and saying shoes can't have more than one carbon fiber plate. Kipchoge's shoes barely height limit and saying shoes can't have more than one carbon fiber plate. Kipchoge's shoes barely fit these requirements, but they were prototypes, which felt unfair. So regulators added a rule saying that all shoes had to be available for anyone to buy at least 4 months before they were used in competition. These rules were pretty much aimed at Nike, and back then, Nike wasn't happy about it. They issued a statement saying the rules would stifle innovation. So I asked the head of Nike's Sport Research Lab about it now.
Why did Nike feel that way at the time, and do you still feel that way now?
There was a number of reasons we were pushing back and worrying about stifling innovation. I think it's like just a moral obligation to keep pushing forward. Our goal is not to make the world's fastest athletes faster by putting fans behind them and pushing them down the field. That's not interesting to us.
That's really the key. It's all about pushing the human body forward. But that brings us to the last big debate about technology in sports. What if the tech that you're debating is part of someone's body? You might remember this guy, Oscar Pistorius. He was the first person to qualify and compete in the Olympics with these running blades. This was a moment that got a lot of people talking about what's fair and what's not in sports. You might not know him yet, but that's Blake Leeper. He qualified for the Olympics 8 years after Pistorius, but he wasn't allowed to compete.
I had the fifth fastest time in the world against able-bodied athletes, which qualified me for the Olympic Games, and then I was abruptly stopped. I had to take my case to the Court of Arbitration of Sport.
The Olympics had allowed Pistorius, but they now wanted to revisit the rules. Should running blades be allowed? If you let people wear glasses for shooting, meaning they can correct a disability that they have, aren't prosthetics the same?
¿Quieres entrar en el mundo tech, pero no sabes por dónde empezar? Este webinar gratuito de Python es para ti.
And how do you decide what's a correction and what's an enhancement? Turns out, tests. A lot of tests.
Put dots on my blades to see the spring compression, to see like what type of energy return are we getting out of the prosthetic legs, and how does that compare to somebody who have their legs.
Researchers found that Blake's prosthetic legs made him no faster at sprinting or gave him better endurance, but they did make him worse at accelerating and rounding curves. Then the opponent's side argued that prosthetics are lighter and they don't require any of the body's oxygen. It was seeming like a toss-up. But
the one thing that they got me on specifically was called the MASH rule, max allowable standing height.
The Olympics didn't use this rule for Pistorius, but now they decided Blake couldn't compete because his blades made him taller than he would be naturally. But Blake was born without the bottom part of his legs. He has never had a full height naturally with his legs. They calculated it using measurements from other parts of his body to tell him what his height would theoretically have been. And to make matters worse, those calculations were based on only small studies of white and Asian men. But the whole idea of using averages for athletes is tricky. Most people's wingspan is roughly their height, but Michael Phelps' wingspan is 3 whole inches taller than he is. That's part of what makes him so great. But in the end,
they said this is the rules that said, we're sorry, Blake, but you have to drop your legs by 6 inches.
And changing your height is not the same as changing your swimsuit.
I trained at 6'2" my whole life. And now I'm 5'9", so I'll go reach or I'll go run or my back went out. And the $1 million question is what's fair and what's not fair. If somebody was born with bad vision and they wear glasses, you wouldn't regulate that. Now I can try to wear glasses, but I don't.
Wow, that's very interesting. And they banned this guy from the competition at the end just because he's hurt than his opponents or something like that. That was the reason why this guy was banned. It's very interesting.
I don't need glasses.
Really, the conversation that we're talking about is of
But
fear
the question remains: what's fair and what's not fair?
or a concern that technology will get so good, people on blades will actually outperform everybody. Is that what people are really talking?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think that's the conversation that is really at hand. It wasn't me trying to compete. It was the idea of the Pandora's box that it could potentially open up. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
We have come so far in improving what humans can do. Today we have better nutrition and training and...
Okay, but I feel so bad for this guy because he got banned because he was taller. That wasn't fair, bro. He's just competing with the things he had. So for me, it wasn't fair. He was taller because he said he had that height for like, I don't remember, like in this part.
Taller than he is. That's part of what makes him so
Because okay, it's not a good reason because that was his height. He was taller, but
great. But in the end,
And they said, this is the rules that said, we're sorry, Blake, but you have to drop your legs by 6 inches.
and changing your height is not the same as changing your swimsuit.
I trained at 6'2" my whole life.
just because he was taller.
And now I'm 5'9", so I'll go reach or I'll go run or my back went out. And the $1 million question is what's fair and what's not fair. If somebody was born with bad vision and they wear glasses, you wouldn't regulate that. Now I could try to wear glasses, but I don't need glasses.
Really, the conversation that we're talking about is of fear or a concern that technology will get so good, people on blades will actually outperform everybody. Technology will get so good, people...
Oh, very interesting. And also there is a guy with just one of these ones. Okay, I thought you can only use the people that compete in this competition have 2 of these ones. I don't know, there are people that compete with one of these ones because they miss one leg, only one leg.
On blade.
I thought that the people with that only have one leg use another type of this thing. I don't know the name of this, but I thought that they use a different mechanisms.
Will actually outperform everybody. Is that what people are really talking?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think that's the conversation that is really at hand. It wasn't me trying to compete. It was the idea of the Pandora's box that it could potentially open up. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
We have come so far in improving what humans can do. Today we have better nutrition and training and strategy and recovery and, of course, technology. The whole point of technology is to make people better, to make our lives easier, to make us more capable, to make things that we never thought were possible come true. But how far and how fast and exactly in what direction technology pushes us is the big debate that we're going to keep on having. Far beyond sports.
Should we regulate it? Should we tame it down? Should we allow it? Should we integrate it?
I think it's wrong to stop. I think you can say it's unethical to introduce these things to sport. It's unethical to stop inventing and to stop pushing human potential forward.
And personally, I can't wait to see what humans are capable of.
Okay, what a good video, bro. Was amazing. This video was amazing. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I know that I have 0 viewers today, but no problem. I really appreciate if you watch this video in the future. I will appreciate that. Thank you so much. I still learning and I still fighting because I only have one life and one shot. I will try to make $1 million in just 1 year, and I'll do $1 million in 1 year. That's a promise. See ya.
Welcome to Nike's test.